Hello and welcome to the winter writing vlog. So we have currently the middle of January and it's very cold and very snowy outside. And I have finished all of my school obligations except of one, which means I finally have more of a winter break. And I have decided to use that for writing, creation and just having fun with the winter season. So I would like you to join me on my fun adventures as we explore the winter season. My previous plan for today was to go ice skating to a lake, but because it is currently the weather that we have, which means it's raining and then it's freezing, so everything is under ice. That is a little bit too dangerous, and I will wait with ice skating for another week. But I have decided to go to a mall, do a little bit of a winter shopping. I am searching for gloves and a coat. And then I want to sit down at a cafe and do some creation, whether it is my book or if it actually editing the previous videos or just drawing and journaling and having fun, because why not? As for how my book is going, so I am working on draft 2 from November. I'm currently on chapter 9 and I haven't written much this month yet because of the school obligations. But I would say it is going quite well in what is going, because I have been writing a lot of these small, more philosophical discussions between my characters and exploring themes of like power and responsibility and leadership. And that is a lot of fun. And the scene I'm currently writing, that is actually in book 1, is more about two people who have very simplified points of view, completely misunderstanding where each other is coming from with their pain. So that is where I'm at, and we are going to continue working on that. Okay, what of this mess am I actually taking? My tarot cards? No, I don't think so. Earbuds for sure. Book tabs are not really necessary. This is my writing journal, and yes, that I am for sure taking. My bullet journal, I don't think so, not necessary now. The book would actually weight me down, and I don't think it fits in my bag, so that's not going. And of course, I couldn't go out without my iPad. So that, my compression gloves, because I've had some issues with my hands, so those are necessary. And from here, what are we taking? This pen, this liner, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that looks good. I think so. So the bare minimum, all packed. Happy Monday. Today we are starting the day by going to Grandma because she made some traditional food she wants me to pick up and get home. So that is the first task. And I'm thinking if I should stop by the post office on the way. It's a little further in the village than where my grandma lives, but I have a book that's waiting on me there. The issue is I have two other deliveries that are supposed to arrive either today or tomorrow, and so I guess I will just wait and pick up all of them at once at some other point. Happy Thursday, or not so much. Yesterday I had the brilliant idea of waking up at sunrise because I want to hard reverse my current sleeping schedule, which means going back to bed between 3 to 4 a.m. and waking up at noon. That can no longer be supported. So the moment I say I will be waking up, that means my ADHD overreacts and doesn't let me fall asleep, which means I got maybe 3 hours of sleep. At least I wrote 2 scenes in the middle of the night trying to get myself to be sleepy enough to fall asleep. And right now, I wanted to have some quiet morning routine or something like that. Fully alone before the house wakes up. No. 10 minutes after I woke up, everyone else in the house woke up because apparently the dogs woke up with me and woke up everyone else. So, quiet and alone morning time is not happening, and we will see what will happen. But I am rather hungry, so it is time to make tea and breakfast. I still want to get to at least journaling or reading or something quiet, but we will see about how it will go with the company. Hello and welcome to Thursday. I had this idea that today maybe I could go ice skating, not to the lake, but there is one public ring that is operated into the evening, which would be nice to visit. The issue is my free time for today has collapsed, and it looks like all I will be doing today is housekeeping and chores and running around. So that plan needs to be moved for either tomorrow or Saturday. Either way, I am still battling with chapter 10 and it's just not coming together. There are now 2 holes in it, and I apparently cannot stick to writing linearly for the life of me. Okay, never mind. That will either solve itself or it will remain a trend in my writing. Either way, now I need to go and do all the stuff that I need to do. And only after that I can come back here and write and hopefully join Tanya's stream. So Hello and welcome to Saturday. It has been a busy couple of days, and today we'll stay being busy. I said in the last update that I was going to write and hopefully finish chapter 10. Well, that didn't quite happen. Well, I did write, it just wasn't chapter 10. Why? I have decided to jump again, and this time into book 3, but into the beginning of book 3 and do one kind of funny scene in there. It was action, but it was like very showing the character development. I don't know what is it about book 3 that currently keeps calling to me, but it does. And like, I cannot complain. At least I'm keeping writing, even if the draft 2 of book 1 is not progressing as fast as I wanted it to. Keeping up with everything is a bit more difficult lately because I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous clips, but my mother had a surgery of her shoulder to fix some of the tendons here, and so she cannot move her hand, and she's fine, she's okay, but everything that we have previously divided in between the two of us is now completely on me, and so I have double dose of basically chores. I'm not going to complain about that because I am just glad she's okay. But that means that my free time to write or do anything has been very much eaten into. Not to mention that I need to go to the horse more often these days because, as I previously explained, he had a tendon injury and so he's in rehabilitation. But because it is currently snowy and icy, he cannot go outside and he cannot move, otherwise he would hurt himself. But that means when I do get to walk him, he is a bit spicy. Like, he has trouble handling his own energy. And like, it's understandable, but it's a little bit of a pain. So currently I need to walk him more often than I used to. And he is changing into a bit of a rodent and puts his mouth into everything. And this is a proof of that because in the past 3 weeks he has managed to bite me 2 times. Not out of malice, but like he wants something and then he doesn't realize that I'm not wearing my gloves and he pinches my skin on the arm. Not great, but he's cannot really help himself at this point. Like, the energy is messing with his head, but he has no way of spending it. So like, we just have to survive this and hope that in a few weeks the weather will be better, because the ice has currently stopped and we are going finally above freezing temperatures. But also, I don't know how well it is visible, but the fog has returned and that's not great. I have been thinking about like how I keep circling around the same themes and same things in my writing over and over again, and how it has kind of developed over the years. Because I have read some scenes that I have written in 2023, 2024, and I have written similar scenes now, and yet where they go is different, even if the core of the scene is the same. So tracking development this way is quite interesting. This also ties back to like exploring the political stuff in my books and how that is developed, and I don't know, just like the leadership aspect of this book, like what does it mean to be a good leader, the sacrifices it requires, and how people look at you like you are the villain when you are just trying your best, but then maybe you are the villain. I'm not going to spoil much because who knows how much I end up changing in the later books, but suffice to say, Aurora has a bit of a corruption arc in the later books. The other thing I was thinking about is just like the general aesthetics of being a writer and like why does it matter to make things beautiful. And I think I'm going to make a specific video about that in itself because it is a big topic and I have a lot of thoughts. And the last thing that has been on my mind recently is I have made a mood board about this project, And someone said that my art style is pretty enough that I should make my own tarot deck, which is funny because I have been delving into tarot over the past few months, and so of course that calls to me. And like it would be too much to do the whole 78 cards, but what if I just did the major arcana and themed it about my book and the characters in there? And so that's what I got thinking about last night, and that kept me awake until like 4 a.m. But right now I cannot go back into figuring this out because today my friend is arriving for a 1 week trip to here. But also I have a paper due tomorrow, and so I need to work on that now and get as much of it done as possible. It shouldn't be that difficult because this one we are working in pairs, and so I only have to do half of it. And I have done a lot of prep work for it back in December, so I'm not starting from scratch. So that's good. But anyway, I am not very happy about having to go back to studying. I would rather be writing, but that's what we have to do. You know things are getting serious when I have a whole kettle of tea instead of just a cup. So turns out the project I have due tomorrow is not a research proposal, it's a research in itself. The size of it stays the same, but there is also the analytical part, which means that I cannot just talk without substance about theories, methods, and like why would I choose this, but actually do the work. Thankfully, I have done all the research itself and I have the data from December, so I don't have any new research to do, so that's good. But it's like a different way of thinking and writing because I really have to be analytical and I really have to be concise to fit my half of the work into like 4 and 5 pages because the whole paper is 10 pages. And this is funny because back in when I started university, I would have been thinking 10 pages. Oh, that's so long. How can I stretch this for 10 pages? And now I'm like 10 pages. That's so little. I will have to be extremely concise to even fit into that. What am I doing here? So it is now dark. I have finished the methodology and I was supposed to do the analytical part, but because it's already 5 p.m. and I have other obligations, I have decided to write the limitations and future research. So we are now at like 450 words, 500 words, something like that. And I can do the analysis and the conclusion either later today or tomorrow. I still have time, it's fine. It just took about an hour and a half to even get my bearings and organize everything and figure out what I am doing. Now that it is actually writing time, it's going rather smoothly. But I have to be done with working now. As you can see, I have my compression gloves because both of my wrists decided to hurt for some reason. And I really need to go cook dinner and then I need to go pick up my friend from the train station. So yes, that's the update and going now. hello. It has been a while. This past week, I've had my best friend from Ukraine come over and spend time with me. So, the only writing I've managed to do was finish the last essay I had for this semester. So, now all of that is finished. But we've had a lot of fun together. We went on a city date, we went shopping, we went skiing 2 times. The only thing we didn't manage to do was go to Vienna for the ice skating, but that can wait for later. So, yes, I have been busy in the best kind of ways. So, no writing, but I wouldn't trade that for spending time with my friends, so I am happy. Now, yesterday, I managed to finish chapter 10 and write about 800 words there. Somehow the chapter ended up being exactly 5,000 words long, which I find incredibly funny and like fitting. It's the chapter with the council that finally like introduces all of the political stuff and has Peter's moment of, oh, I have a voice, I have a responsibility, and I am allowed to speak up, kind of. So that was his arc in this. And I am pretty happy with how that chapter turned out. That means that I have finished what is now the last of the messy chapters that I have started in November. So now all of those are done. And with chapter 10, I have also finished what would have been the old Act 1, because it technically was supposed to add chapter 12, but everything plot-wise has already happened. So I am going to count that as the old Act 1 finished, and now we have the other 10 chapters of the rest of Act 1. Funnily enough, we are at 43,000 words already, but I will not be complaining about that. Either way, this has been fun and very productive. In the entire month of January, I have somehow managed to write 15,000 words. I guess it would have been more if I didn't spend 1 week doing nothing, but as I said, I do not regret that one bit. So, yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed, and please tell me what you do to enjoy wintertime more. And with that, goodbye.